What's up everyone and welcome back to HateWatchers. Today we are wrapping up our weekly coverage of the Wheel of Time with the finale episode, episode 8, entitled He Who Comes with the Dawn. Let's jump right into the breakdown. Spoilers ahead. We pick things up 10 years in the past with Smokestack stepping out of these beef curtains and flashing her new bling. Suwon is in her hammer pants, which confirms this really is a flashback, and everyone is brought together in ceremony by a sister who, can now only compete in women's sports in Maine. The sisters take a vote on who will be the next Amerlin seat, and at first it looks like no one's ready to put a black woman in the White Tower House. But it turns out all the women just wanted to wait and say their votes one at a time to maximize the attention they each get. Back in the present in the Aiel Waste, with this show giving him nothing better to do, Rand is picking avocados. But even this, Egg finds a way to ruin. Over in Topo Chico, the Spider Girl brings Chipmunk Supreme a rather bulky bracelet she thinks matches her prominent cheeks and jawline. Rand hops into the dream world for a quickie with Lanfear, but she came expecting a wedding it would seem. However, she gets quite the opposite as Rand tries to dump her. Lanfear moves to attack Rand, but the Dragon Reborn needs Big Bad Egg to come save him. Rand leads his army of Aiels through the desert, and the Acolyte falsely puffs up Egg's ego even more, asking her if the Dragon Reborn is worthy of her, a White Tower dropout with a choking fetish. And they all eventually reach their destination, Burning Man. Lanfear meets with the other Aiel tribe, and hey look, it's Riz from the Halo show. Damn, she's gonna be out of another job soon. And Lanfear sexually assaults this guy. Chipmunk Supreme, Wisdom, Elaine, they're all just searching this house for the collar they need for like 15 minutes, and luckily Tom and Elaine have this whole backstory together, so they don't need to meet or get to know each other, but they do come under attack from Cruella de Vil. Doormat finds the beef curtains and just slams his face right into them without a second thought, ending up in a room with a sideshow cat person. The fuck? Chipmunk Supreme can't find the right necklace to go with her bracelets, but Wisdom knows a slave collar when she sees one. Tom Bombadil tells Elaine to escape while he distracts Cruella, who's using a Ghostbusters proton pack, but Elaine is too much of a girl boss to escape, so she crosses the streams and obliterates Cruella de Vil. Apparently, this cat person is an eelfin, and he says he can take memories away from Matt that he doesn't want, so Matt begs him to get rid of the memory from that one time parents sat on his lap and it moved. But the cat person leaves Doormat hanging, and at the mercy of a dark friend, though Min saves him, giving us yet another girl boss hero moment. Matt's still dying though, so she literally beats him mercilessly until he's alive again, but then he's still dying and it's all just kinda weird, but don't worry, we never revisit this. Instead of just running away with the collar, Wisdom is waiting outside for a taxi, so Chipmunk Supreme throws her back in chains and then into the sea. While Wisdom is drowning, she hears the voice of her daughter, that doesn't exist, asking her to make her a damned grilled cheese, and this gives Wisdom the strength to part the damn sea like she's fucking Moses. Landchops is dozing off after doing nothing all season when this woman runs up and warns him that Lanfear is here, but then she dies as she succumbs to a hot flash. Rand is staring off into the distance because the show gives him nothing better to do when Moraine interrupts him, and Rand is like, hey, have you been manipulating me this whole time?
Yes.
It worked.
I know.
The Red Sisters trick the other ones into leaving the tower, so Smokestack can be voted in as the new Mother Superior, and Suwon demands an investigation into alleged voting irregularities. But all she gets is a Julius Caesar moment, getting stabbed 30 times. And it's been an exciting day with a lot going on, so she lays down to take a nap. Elsewhere, Chipmunk Supreme finds the Spider Girl to apply to become a Forsaken. Back at Burning Man, some Temu knockoff Rand presents himself as the true chosen one, so Rand steps up, removes his jacket, and they have a tattoo off. Back in the White Tower, the new Mother Superior accuses Suwon of working with Moraine, and Suwon says I didn't know scissoring was considered work. Then she heroically proclaims her love for Moraine, as Moraine is busy, taking it hard from behind from Lanfear. Lanfear is about to finish off Moraine, but she finds the strength to fight back, and Lan attacks Lanfear because he's jealous that when people type his name in the search bar, hers comes up first. Meanwhile, Rand is sick of this shit and just starts threatening everyone, saying now you'll see my true power, as he really ramps things up by breaking out into interpretive dance. But per usual, Egg doesn't approve. Back at the White Tower, somehow Suwon is still talking, while Lanfear is still sticking it into Moraine hard. And Suwon finally stops talking, but they had to decapitate her to get her to shut up, and Moraine feels her death, goes Super Saiyan mode with a ton of screaming, and cuts Lanfear's throat, though she escapes and Moraine breaks down. Rand has finished his routine, and even God is crying at its beauty, and everyone bends the knee to Rand as he's danced his way into his doubters' hearts. Now that she's the Amyrlin seat, Smokestack can finally redecorate this office, which was all she really wanted. Everyone across the world is in awe of Rand's power, except for Egg, who continues to be a massive bitch all the time, and what better note to end the season on. Well, we've reached that point in the video where we have to decide if this episode was a great watch or a hate watch. And not only is this a hate watch, shocking, I know, but they managed to end the season with, I think, one of the worst episodes they've ever produced. With a runtime of more than an hour, they could only give us 1.5 decent scenes. First, Rand stepping up to claim the mantle of Kara Karn, that scene was decent. And then Moraine fighting back against Lanfear was solid, until losing her lesbian lover imbued her with unfathomable power and swung the tide. But those scenes were only decent, and that was it. Those 1.5 scenes were the only redeeming aspects of this entire finale. As is typical of these inversely related aspects, as the quality of the show went down, the girlbossing this episode reached new heights. Egg had to step in to save Rand from Lanfear in his dream. Elaine stepped in to save Tom Marilyn. Min saved Matt's life from a dark friend, from a hanging, and then she beat the life back into him. Wisdom literally parted the sea. And of course, Moraine's deep lesbian love of Suwon propelled her to defeat the absurdly powerful Lanfear, saving Rand and countless Aiels. And it was all so contrived. Egg didn't need to help Rand, but the creators were probably pissed she's had nothing to do. Elaine and Tom could have worked together, but instead she had to save him. If a man like Matt or Tom gets in trouble, he needs to be saved. If a woman like Wisdom gets in trouble, she saves herself. Just none of it needed to happen this way. These were choices. It seems like the creators just didn't get their fill of girlboss moments with the last episode centered on Perrin, and they needed to make up for it. And of course, if we weren't watching people sitting around, or Rand dancing his way into people's hearts, or girls bossing their way out of trouble, we spent like 15 minutes on these dipshits just searching this house for the slave collar. And it was even set up as a harrowing task as the heroes stepped in right after Chipmunk Supreme did, but they didn't even run into her. That whole stretch was super long and super boring. Then we had the palace coup back at the White Tower. We're a long way past ever caring what happens in this tower, but that coup will have lasting ramifications as the White Tower should now be antagonistic to Rand's rise. And lastly, there was no sense of finality to anything really except Moraine's relationship. Matt was literally left dying thanks to some unexplained necklace. Elaine just started a new mission to expose her dad as a Forsaken. Chipmunk was interviewing for a position with the Forsaken. Lanfear's wounded. There were a lot of things left up in the air. Even Rand's story of gaining the support of the Aiels is only the halfway point through this journey of his, with him still needing to get to the Stone of Tyr. Then he can be the Dragon Reborn or something and start fighting back. So with nothing really being concluded, it looks like the creators are fully banking on getting another season. Well, good luck with that. On a programming note, I think I'll actually follow through with a full season review for Season 3, at least a brief one. Whether through apathy or time constraints, I never got around to doing one for the first 2 seasons. But I think I'll do one for Season 3, so keep an eye out for that video. And for a video of the funniest clips and scenes of the Wheel of Time's 3rd season. Was it fitting for this season to go out with a big wet fart? What uncomfortable object do you think is up Egwene's butt that makes her so unlikable? Can you believe this cat person is supposed to be resembling a snake-fox hybrid? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, remember to like the video and subscribe to HateWatchers to stay up to date on the Wheel of Time as well as other shows and movies. Thank you for dancing the haters away with us today, and we'll catch you on the next one.